Can one man's decision really destroy a $150 billion company? Picture this. It's 2007. You're at Nokia, the undisputed king of mobile phones. The company is worth over 150 billion euros. Your future feels guaranteed. You're thinking about that dream house. But suddenly a shockwave hits. Apple launches the iPhone. The board panics. They hire a new CEO, Stephen Elop, a top executive from Microsoft. What happens next becomes a masterclass in collapse. In just 3 years, Nokia loses over 100 billion euros in value. Tens of thousands of people lose their jobs across the world. So how does the most dominant phone company on earth fall so fast? And why does the man in charge walk away with a 25 million euro payout while so many lose everything? This is a story of a fatal gamble, a suspicious payoff, and a conspiracy theory that refuses to die. I'm Hussein, and I break down how brilliant companies make catastrophic mistakes. And Nokia's fall? It's the textbook example. Today we're answering one question. Was Stephen Elop a failed savior or a corporate Trojan horse? In 2010, Nokia was still a giant, but it was bleeding. The iPhone had made their smartphones look ancient. Inside the company, bureaucracy was crushing innovation. The board needed a miracle worker. They chose Stephen Elop. His contract was interesting, a massive signing bonus, and a huge change of control clause. If Nokia was ever sold, his stock would pay out instantly. Critics would later argue this rewarded selling the company, not saving it. For months, Elop studied Nokia from the inside, and then he dropped a bomb. Not on competitors, but on his own employees. He sent an internal email comparing Nokia to a man standing on a burning oil rig. To survive, the man must jump into the freezing sea. We too are standing on a burning platform. The memo leaked almost immediately. The stock collapsed. Employees panicked. Developers fled. Even Nokia's own chairman later admitted it was a tremendous misjudgment. The platform wasn't just burning. Gasoline had been poured on it. Just 3 days later, the next decision landed. Elop announced Nokia would abandon its own operating systems and bet everything on Microsoft's brand new Windows Phone. The tech world was stunned. One analyst famously joked, "Two turkeys do not make an eagle." The obvious question was simple. Why not Android? Samsung was already exploding with it. Elop argued Android was too crowded. Instead, he wanted to build a third ecosystem with Microsoft, a place where Nokia could stand out. But it was a massive gamble on a platform with 1% market share and almost no apps. The consequences were immediate. Thousands of layoffs, factories shut down, including Nokia's last phone factory in Finland. Their smartphone market share collapsed from 33% to just 3%. Meanwhile, Samsung's Android share exploded by more than 1,200%. The gamble had failed, spectacularly. And as Nokia's phone business lay in ruins, a clause in a contract was about to activate. In 2013, Microsoft bought Nokia's struggling phone division. Stephen Elop resigned as CEO and returned to Microsoft. That change of control clause paid out 25.5 million euros. The Prime Minister of Finland called it outrageous. When asked if he would return any of the money, Elop refused, citing personal reasons. He took the money and walked away. This is where the story turns controversial. A Microsoft executive becomes Nokia CEO. He bets Nokia's future on Microsoft. When it fails, Microsoft buys the wreckage cheaply, and he goes back with millions. Was this the plan all along? The Trojan horse theory was born. Investigations by Finnish journalists found no proof of deliberate sabotage, no smoking gun. The more likely explanation: catastrophic misjudgment, groupthink, and terrible incentives. But for the 100,000 people who lost their jobs, the difference between malice and incompetence didn't matter. The biggest question remains: what if? If Nokia had chosen Android in 2011, their hardware expertise could have made them a true Samsung rival. They might still be here today, maybe not a king, but still alive. Instead, they bet on the only horse that died. Elop later said, "We didn't do anything wrong, but somehow we lost." A sentence that proves he never truly understood why they fell. So was Stephen Elop the man who killed Nokia? He didn't pull the trigger. The iPhone did, but he was the captain who, facing a storm, ordered the crew to abandon the lifeboats and sail straight into a reef. And then he was the first, and only one, paid to find a new ship. Nokia's story is a warning. One decision, driven by arrogance, isolation, or disastrous incentives, can burn down an empire. So what do you think? Was Stephen Elop a Trojan horse, or simply the most expensive failed CEO in tech history? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy deep dives into the rise and fall of legendary companies, you're in the right place. Subscribe for more business mysteries. Thanks for watching. I'm Hussein, and I'll see you in the next one.